What's up? Brandon Lilly here, coming to you with the Paint Lick Project. I'm going to be soon invading the Power Project, so for now we're the Paint Lick Project. And I'm going to hit you with some lyrics like Mark always does. Johnny's daddy was taking him fishing when he was 8 years old. Little girl came running through the front gate holding a fishing pole. First question I had was from Chad Ball. He was asking about booty popping on the bench press. Can't keep that ass down. How do you go about preventing that? Actually, I just put out a video on Juggernaut's website, the Bench Press 101, talking about how to set up in such a way that you can prevent this. Almost completely prevent it and eliminate the possibility of it happening. One, your knee joint needs to be below your hip joint. And the second thing, when you start to initiate your leg drive, if you're going to be pushing backwards, not so much down. You're going to be pushing back like you're trying to push your head off the bench, which will roll you up on your traps. So that's going to be one part of it. The other, if you're really having a problem coming off the bench, take your legs and squeeze the bench together. And what that will do is that will initiate the adductors of the legs, flare them out, and they'll cause the glutes to press down even more, almost eliminating any possibility of you coming off the bench whatsoever. This was shown to me by Dave Hoff. It's been a great tip, secret, whatever you want to call it. It's really, really helped me a lot. And it's made me a better bench presser for it. The next question was from Josh. He asked about how to implement sex into your training. It's really kind of an awkward thing whenever you're having sex in the gym. But if you're going to have sex in the gym, I do recommend that you go ahead and prep for it. If your guy's wearing briefs, go ahead and cut a hole in the briefs. Maybe you want some take turns and cut a hole in the front of the briefs or cut a hole in the back of the briefs. Get good tight spots. Get as close as you can. Just don't make it obvious that you're having sex when you're training, but that's a good way to go about it. Locker room sex is probably the best for all you guys that train together and you're just looking for a way to get away. Go in the locker room. But if you're talking about sex as cardio, probably 8 to 15 times a week. Unless you got more stamina, I would say a good 3 to 4 times a week of hour-long sessions, something like that. Take your time. Don't burn out too quick. Don't give up your nut too quick. Just have fun with it. Real questions now, and I got a lot of really good questions, so I am going to be. I'm probably going to do some more videos today, just because there were some really good questions, and I've been so busy lately, I haven't been able to dedicate the time to making videos like I wanted to. So I want to thank everybody that did post a question. I will probably make 2 to 3 more videos today, but I want to get on to these next few questions because they're important and they're questions that people ask me a lot. The first one was from Sean, and he was asking about power off the bottom. He said he has a really good lockout, but no power off the bottom. And this is something I was actually talking to Joey Smith about, not because he lacks power off the bottom, but we were talking about variations that lifters can use to build power off the bottom. And one of the things that I like to do, on the cube, I'm assuming that you're trying to use a cube type rotation, but I'll speak in general as well. On my bench day, I like to do pause reps on my chest, actually touching my chest, or just like I imagine trying to fit a piece of paper between my chest and the bar. So I'm just kind of hovering there. And then I press, because I feel like so many guys, when they actually touch their chest recesses, they get loose, their elbows flare out, and they don't stay tight. So I'm trying to train my body to stay as tight as I can, so whenever I tell it to go, it's already in go mode because it's tight. A tight muscle is a strong muscle and a fast muscle. So what you want to do is just learn to start thinking that way. Don't let your body go limp. As far as exercises, I like hands-facing dumbbells as an accessory movement, where I drop the dumbbell head as deep down into my armpit as I can, actually going past the point of my chest. This is something anybody can do. I like benching with a bow bar, with a 2-inch bow. A lot of people don't have access to that. So a hands-facing dumbbell press where you actually drop into the pit of your arm and pause it there and then explode out. Try to do high rep stuff too, 8 to 12s. That'll actually build some muscularity. That'll actually still build power, and it'll start building that strength off the chest. But that, along with pauses, along with this sounds stupid, but it actually does work for me, is military presses where you come down and you touch your collarbones. Because if you look at the way that the arms are positioned, you'll actually be in exactly the same arm position, just in a different pressing motion. So that's something that I've found works for me. It may not work for everybody, but those three things: deep palm facing dumbbells, pauses on the chest, and collarbone military presses. Those are the three things that I think will add speed and power to anybody's off the chest. Last is Christine on meet day. What do you do? How do you prep for it? For me, it's kind of a process that I start 14 days out. I clean up my diet completely the last 2 weeks. As many of you know, this is kind of how I diet. All right. I'm not saying diet as in losing weight, but I'm saying this is my nutritional belief. I eat really, really good food as often as I can. If I want something that's not good and I'm craving it, I eat it. But the basis, like 90% of my food is good, clean food. And that minimizes a lot of the cravings because I'm full all the time. But, if I'm wanting something, I don't deprive myself of that. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to step on stage at 4% or 3% body fat. So calories are the name of the game of powerlifters. In the last 14 days, I really, really upped my calories. I'm not the type of person that really cuts unless I'm close to the weight class. And by close, I mean within 3, 4, 5 pounds. I've done it in the past, but I don't like doing these 10, 12, 15 pound cuts. I've just seen too many things go wrong. And especially as a beginning lifter, the word cutting should not even be in your vocabulary if you're a very beginning lifter. It's counterproductive. So and it's not only counterproductive, but it's a stress that you don't need as a new lifter. But for me, 14 days out, everything goes clean. I only eat red meat. Occasionally I'll have fish just because I love salmon. But 14 days out, it's all red meat. It's potatoes, rice, broccoli, salads, asparagus, squash, and that really does kind of clean out my system. Like I said, I eat pretty clean most of the time anyway, but I really dedicate to it the last 2 weeks. Also, the last 2 weeks, sleep becomes a priority. As many of you all have seen, I'm up any given time of the day, 24 hours a day. I don't sleep very well at all, but the last 2 weeks before a meet, I really dedicate to winding myself down, turning my phone down, or turning my phone off, not getting on the computer late at night, not giving myself stimulus late at night so I can go to sleep. And then, just follow that process into the meet. The day before the meet, after weigh-ins, I just eat really good. I don't try to stuff myself because I found that when I overeat the day before a meet, I really do wake up feeling groggy. I feel sluggish. I don't feel powerful. I just feel like I've got to get through that, so I start taking a bunch of caffeine or stimulants, and then I wake up. So I just eat to the point where I feel full, take 1 or 2 more bites, drink a glass of water, and then I go back to the hotel room until it's time to eat again. And that system has worked really well for me. I'm just going past the point of full, but I'm not stuffing myself. And on the day of the meet, what I do is I wake up very early, about 6 o'clock. Usually for me, I don't lift until 10 or 11, but I don't start my squats until 10 or 11 because I'm usually in one of the later flights. But be aware of where you will be. If you're a light squatter, you're going to be in the first flight, maybe the second flight. So be aware of that and make changes to how you need it. But I usually get up around 6 o'clock. First thing I do is I take a shower. I start drinking water just to feel good. I don't like a lot of stimulant on meet day. I don't like to feel jittery any more than the nerves and the anticipation that's already there. So start drinking water. take my shower, and then I immediately go to McDonald's. And there's I get something that's pretty safe. I usually get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit or a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. The last 2 or 3 meats I've had sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Just something that's got a high calorie content, kind of dense, but safe. It's not going to be extra greasy. It's not going to leave me sitting on the toilet while I'm trying to squat. So I do that. I drink a Coke, and I have an orange juice. And then I take another 1 or 2 of those sandwiches to the meet with me. Right when I get there, I'm not one of the guys that rolls in late. I see a lot of bigger name lifters or top lifters. They'll show up maybe in the middle of the second flight or something like that. I get there when the meet starts. I sit there. I roll my legs out. I just try to stay calm, try to get used to the environment, and just get kind of used to my surroundings. And then as soon as I get there, I'll eat another sandwich, and then right as I'm starting my squats, I'll eat the second sandwich. So by the time I start my squats, I've had 4 breakfast sandwiches basically, and I've had a Coke and an orange juice, and I've been drinking water the entire time. Now throughout the rest of the day, I don't like to eat a lot of food because I get sick. I have a sensitive stomach. So what I do the rest of the day is just go by feel. Most of the time that actually will carry me through to about the deadlift. I know some guys like to eat in between every lift. I keep little Snickers or granola bars, things like that on hand if I do get hungry, but most of the time I'm so preoccupied and I'm so focused on what I'm doing, and I've eaten so much that I'm not really hungry at that point, well, until the deadlift. And then as far as hydration, I'm going to tell you guys this because this has happened to me the last 2 meets. Drink water. Avoid the Gatorades, because I drank so much Gatorade I started puking. I guess my balances got out of whack and I started puking really bad. So stay on the water. Drink a little bit of Gatorade if you have to, but water will keep you hydrated as long as you're drinking it constantly. As far as attempts go, I open up with something. Excuse me. I open up with a lift that I know that I can smash any day of the week. Usually something that I can double or triple. I usually go for a PR on my second. Now that's something that I recommend more experienced lifters do, because the way I look at it is I get 2 shots at a PR. If I miss it, I get a chance to take it again for a PR, or if I get it, I get to build on that PR a little bit. For most new lifters, I'll recommend take an easy opener, go just below your PR on a second, and then surpass your PR on the third. It's really simple. It's a low stress way to lift. That way you know you're going to get through the meet. The name of the game is getting through the meets. You don't really benefit from bombing out. I mean, what do you learn? Yes, I opened up too heavy, or I overtrained going into the meet, or I wasn't ready, or you can learn things from a bomb out. But I really think to grow in this sport, you need to have days that are 7 for 9, 8 for 9, so you can get a real idea of where you are as far as your strength goes, so you can train for that properly. If you bomb, you're kind of back to square one. You don't know where the hell you're at. But by having a good day, you know where you are, or roughly where you are, and you can build from that. So I'm going to go back, look at these questions. I'm going to get this video up. I'm going to get some more questions and do another video shortly. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to post, and I'll do my best to get these other videos up today. Thanks.